Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. There are certain actors in daytime television who carry with them an unmistakable presence the moment they appear on screen. It does not matter whether they are playing a hero, a villain, or something far more complicated in between, their energy changes the atmosphere of every scene. Roger Howarth is one of those actors. His arrival in The Young and the Restless has already generated intense curiosity, and as Matt Clark begins to tighten his grip on Genoa City, it is becoming clear that this role was designed to leave an impact. Few performers understand the art of controlled menace quite like Howarth. His long history in daytime drama has made him a familiar and respected force for audiences who appreciate layered performances. He rarely plays characters in simple black and white terms. Instead, he brings tension through restraint, a quiet smile that means too much, a pause in dialogue that feels heavier than words, a calm delivery that somehow makes the threat even more chilling. That skill set makes him the perfect choice for a character like Matt Clark, whose danger lies not only in what he does, but in how unpredictably he moves through the lives of others. The Newmans, of course, are no strangers to conflict. In fact, chaos often seems like part of the family inheritance. But there is something uniquely unsettling about the kind of disruption Matt Clark brings. He does not arrive with loud declarations or obvious villain theatrics. Instead, he slips into the story like a shadow, patient, observant, and disturbingly deliberate. That approach makes him more dangerous because it allows tension to build slowly, forcing both characters and viewers to question where the true threat lies. This is where Roger Howarth thrives. Matt Clark is not simply a man causing trouble. He feels like someone carrying history, resentment, and perhaps unfinished business that reaches deeper than surface-level drama. That gives the storyline emotional texture. A villain is always more effective when their presence raises questions rather than simply providing conflict. Why is he here now? What does he really want? Who among the Newmans is most vulnerable to his influence? These questions make the storyline richer, and they give Howarth room to do what he does best: make silence feel dangerous. One of the smartest choices in this storyline is placing Matt Clark against the Newman family, a dynasty built on power, pride, and control. The Newmans are accustomed to being the force others react to. Victor Newman, especially, has long been portrayed as the master strategist, the man who sees every move before it happens. Introducing someone like Matt Clark challenges that dynamic in an interesting way. It creates the possibility that Victor, and by extension the entire family, may not be as prepared as they believe. That tension between predator and protector is exactly what fuels strong soap storytelling. Victor's instinct is always to defend his empire and his family, but Matt Clark represents a different kind of enemy. He is not necessarily someone who can be handled through power plays alone. Psychological threats often cut deeper than business rivalries, and if Matt is targeting emotional vulnerabilities rather than financial ones, the stakes become much more personal. This shifts the story from strategy to survival, and that is where audiences become truly invested. Roger Howarth's performance style is particularly effective in this kind of material because he understands that fear is often created through uncertainty. A character who openly announces his intentions can be prepared for. A character who remains calm while everyone else grows uneasy is far more frightening. Matt Clark appears to function in that unsettling space. His calmness becomes suspicious. His confidence feels earned. And every interaction carries the possibility that he knows more than he should. For the Newmans, that is a dangerous position. Family dynamics within The Young and the Restless have always been one of the show's strongest emotional engines. Every outsider who enters the Newman orbit either becomes consumed by it or forces it to reveal its cracks. Matt Clark seems positioned to do the latter. His presence may not just threaten their safety, it may expose old wounds, reopen buried secrets, and test loyalties that were never as solid as they seemed. That possibility is what makes this storyline more than just another villain arc. If Matt's terrorizing of the Newmans is rooted in something personal, then the emotional consequences could be far more lasting than the immediate drama. Revenge stories in soaps work best when they force characters to confront truths they would rather avoid. If Matt is tied to past mistakes, hidden betrayals, or family history the Newmans hoped would stay buried, then his arrival becomes symbolic. He is not just a person, He is a reminder of unfinished consequences. And Roger Howarth excels at embodying characters who feel like living consequences. There is also something refreshing about seeing an actor of his caliber placed in material that allows subtlety rather than spectacle. Soap villains can sometimes fall into exaggerated territory, but Howarth tends to resist that. He trusts the audience to feel the tension without needing every scene to explode. That patience creates stronger storytelling because it allows suspense to breathe. A slow-building threat often lands harder than immediate chaos. Matt Clark's storyline benefits from that approach because it mirrors real fear. People are often more unsettled by what they cannot define. If the Newmans are unsure whether Matt is manipulating them, threatening them, or simply waiting for the right moment to strike, then every scene becomes charged. That uncertainty keeps viewers engaged because they are solving the Newman family members' meaningful emotional material. Victor may be the obvious center of defense, but characters like Nikki, Victoria, Nick, and Adam all bring different vulnerabilities to the table. Nikki's emotional history, Victoria's constant battle for control, Nick's instinct to protect, and Adam's complicated place within the family all create opportunities for Matt to disrupt more than one storyline at once. That layered impact is essential for a strong soap antagonist. A villain should not exist only to challenge one person. They should create ripple effects across the canvas. Matt Clark appears capable of doing exactly that. His presence can shift alliances, reignite rivalries, and force characters into uncomfortable truths. It also allows the Newmans to be seen not just as powerful figures, but as people capable of fear and uncertainty. That humanization matters. The strongest family dynasties in daytime drama survive not because they are invincible, but because they are forced to prove their resilience again and again. Matt Clark may be the latest test of that resilience. And because Roger Howarth brings such natural gravity to the role, the threat feels credible from the start. There is also a certain poetic quality in casting an actor with Howarth's history into a role like this. Longtime daytime viewers carry memories of his past performances, and that familiarity creates instant tension. Audiences know what he is capable of, which means even his smallest scenes arrive with built-in suspense. That kind of casting intelligence matters because it allows the show to use both performance and audience expectation as storytelling tools. In many ways, Matt Clark feels like the kind of villain who becomes memorable not because of one dramatic act, but because of the atmosphere he creates. He changes the emotional temperature of the show. He makes scenes feel sharper, quieter, and more dangerous. That is harder to achieve than grand gestures, and it depends almost entirely on performance. Roger Howarth is more than capable of delivering that. The title itself, In Good Hands, feels especially appropriate here. It suggests trust, not only in the actor but in the storytelling choice. When a new threat enters an established soap family, the success of that arc depends on credibility. Viewers must believe this person can genuinely shake the foundation of characters they have watched for years. With Roger Howarth, that belief comes naturally. He brings legitimacy to the threat before the plot even fully unfolds. And perhaps that is the most exciting part of this storyline, the sense of potential. Matt Clark has not yet revealed everything. His motives remain layered, his methods still unfolding, and his connection to the Newmans likely deeper than what has been shown so far. That mystery gives the story momentum. It invites speculation, emotional investment, and the kind of slow-burn suspense that keeps daytime audiences coming back. Because ultimately, soap operas thrive on anticipation. The question is not just what Matt Clark will do next, but how far he is willing to go, and whether the Newmans are truly prepared for it. Can Victor outmaneuver him? Can the family remain united under pressure? Or will Matt succeed not by attacking them directly, but by letting them destroy each other from within? Those are the questions that turn a good villain storyline into a great one. And with Roger Howarth leading the charge, the odds are very much in the show's favor. As Matt Clark continues to terrorize the Newmans, viewers are watching not just for the plot twists, but for the performance beneath them. The best villains do not simply create drama. They create atmosphere, emotional tension, and the feeling that no one is truly safe. That is the kind of energy Howarth brings effortlessly. For the young and the restless, that means the Newmans may be in serious trouble. For viewers, it means something even better. A storyline worth leaning into, because the danger feels real, the stakes feel personal, and the actor at the center knows exactly how to make every moment count. Matt Clark may be a nightmare for the Newmans. But for Roger Howarth, and for the audience, he looks like exactly the right kind of trouble.